Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Kenyan American Home. Thank you for coming back again. Thank you for my subscribers, my notification gang, for coming back, for the love, the support, the likes. I really do appreciate you. And if you're new here, welcome. Welcome to this good side of life. And so today we're going to talk about agents who are wanting to bring you to the US. And I want to educate you that way. If you make the decision to use an agent, you make an informed decision. Okay? So a lot of people have the American dream. So you might be struggling in your home country and you wanna make your way to the US, and you wanna make your way to the US and get the American dream and make it, be successful, be prosperous. But also there are people who've known this and they're taking advantage of this. And so some people are coming in as agents, and what they're doing is they're scamming people off their money. And I have so many friends who've been scammed off money, and it's a lot of money, especially when you're struggling. When you have to sell land, when you have to sell your belongings and property for you to pay an agent, and then that agent just disappears. It's painful. It's painful. And so a lot of people have gone through this. And so I want to be able to educate you. That way and you're able to pick out when you see the traits of scammer agents who are wanting to bring you to the US. But let's start off here. There are actually genuine agents who will bring you to the US. And the three main agents that will bring you to the US is agents who will bring you as a registered nurse. That is true, because I have done a video on registered nurses. And so if you haven't seen that, if that's the area you want to take, and if that's the way that you want to use to come to the US, go watch my video on registered nurses, because I'm comparing for you, a nurse in the US and a nurse in Kenya, and I give you the name of the 4 agents that will help you come to the US. And that's Passport USA, that's O'Grady Payton, MedPro International, and then Avant Healthcare Professionals. So those are legitimate agencies that will bring you here as a registered nurse, because there is a shortage of nurses in the US. Because for you to come here with a work visa, one of the things that has to happen is the Department of Labor has to approve the reason why you want to hire somebody from the outside and not hire somebody who is already in the US. And it's already known there's a shortage of nurses in the US. And so those are legitimate agents. The other legitimate agents are agents who will bring you here through the J1 visa. And I've done videos on the J1 visa and the 14 programs of the J1 visa. But I've also done a video to tell you that the travel.state.gov works with Bridge USA, and on their website they have a list of all the designated sponsors. These are the agents that are recommended. They are all listed there. So whether you want to come as an au pair, whether you want to come as a camp counselor, whether you wanna come as an intern, as a student, all the 14 J1 programs on their website. And if you go to my video on either the J1, the au pair, or the others, I have given you a link in the description, and in the video I have given you a link that will take you to see the designated sponsors. These are the agents. These are the agents that have actually been provided in conjunction with travel.state.gov that will help you come over here with a J1 visa. Okay. Also, there are agents that can bring you here through C1D visa, which is a cruise visa. But this is a process that you can actually be able to do it by yourself. There's some genuine agents that will bring you here, connect you to, make sure that they're helping you with your resumes and stuff when you apply to come for cruise ships, jobs, and all those things. But honestly, this is something that you can be able to do by yourself. You do not need an agent to do that. All you need is information. And, there's plenty of information here on YouTube. I haven't done cruise jobs yet and the process, but, that's a video I'll be doing soon. The truth is There's a lot of agents out there who want to bring you to the US. Some of them might be genuine. Some of them are not very genuine. Some of them are, they are scammers. They're con artists. They'll take your money and then you'll be left, unfortunately, in tears and devastated. But what I want to talk to you about is I want to talk to you about the truths about the agent who wants to bring you to the US, whether they're genuine or sometimes whether they're, not, they're being scammers. They're not genuine. Truth number one, no agent can guarantee that they're going to get you a visa to come to the United States of America. See, they can do such a good job giving you the information, revising your resumes or CVs, preparing you for the interview, filling out your forms, doing all sorts of stuff for you. But they cannot guarantee that you will get a visa, regardless of whether they're genuine or they're not. The reason is they don't have any power when it comes to the US Embassy. The farthest an agent can take you is outside the gate of the US Embassy. But unfortunately, you have to go in yourself into the US Embassy with your appointment and all the details and documents that are required. You'll be the one who has to answer the questions. No agent can be there in with you. And this is one thing that some of the agents use, is to lie to you and tell you that they have somebody inside the US Embassy who they work with who will help you get the visa. And some of them will tell you this is a sure thing, 100% guaranteed that you'll get the visa. And I'm telling you right now, that is not true. The truth is, no agent can guarantee to get you a visa to come to the US. You actually have to go plead your own case so that you can get your own visa. Unless you're coming to the US with a visa waiver program. But otherwise, if you're coming to the US with some sort of visa, you have to go to the embassy and you have to do an interview. And also too, there's also the waiver. If your interview hasn't been waived because you previously had a visa that expired less than 4 years ago, which is the new rule. What I'm talking about is you've never gotten a visa, or your visa expired way long ago. You have to go to the embassy and you have to answer interview questions, and you have to go through, a visa officer for them to grant you a visa. Don't listen to anybody who tells you that they guarantee you 100% that they will get you a US visa. That is not a truth. The truth is, no agent can guarantee that they'll get you a visa. They can do all manner of stuff, help you preparing and all those things, but they cannot guarantee you to get a visa. And so when they ask you for those huge, because especially the ones that have connections, say they have connections inside the embassy, they'll ask you for substantial fees so that they say this one is going to pay the contact in the US Embassy. That is corruption, that is fraud, and I do not believe the US condones that. The US doesn't condone fraud. And so don't be lied to. Don't be taken for a ride. Okay? Second truth is, you have to do your homework before you decide to choose an agency. Because unfortunately, a lot of you are falling into traps where you're going and paying a lot of money. You're going and paying a lot of money. $5,000, $10,000 US dollars to these agents who will purportedly bring you to the US. But here's the other truth. The truth is, a lot of agents have never gotten a visa to come to the US themselves. They have never gone to the US Embassy and interviewed to get a visa. Now, this is the person that's saying that they'll get you to the US, but they have never stepped in an interview room for a US visa interview. So be very careful who you choose as an agent. I mean, how can I take you somewhere I've never been? How can I teach you to do something that I've never done in my life? It's like coming to me and I've never parented a single day in my life and then asking me for parental advice. And that's the mistake a lot of people do. Is you get these people who don't even have any education. They just don't have any information. They're just there. They're there to make money. They're there to benefit off of you. They have never stepped foot in a US embassy or stepped foot into the US. So how is it that this person will bring you? How can they bring you somewhere where they've never been? Maybe some of the questions you need to ask. So you are wanting to be my agent to bring me to the US. Have you ever stepped foot inside the United States of America? Have you ever gone to the US embassy yourself? Can I see your passport? Can I see how many stamps you have? Some of them have never even gotten outside the country to go to the neighboring country. But yet they're promising you America. They're promising you America. And they've never even gotten inside an airplane and gone. Be very careful. That's the truth. A lot of agents that are out there that are wanting to bring you to the US, they've never stepped foot into the US. They've never stepped foot into the US embassy and actually had an interview. Some of them, they just go look at YouTube, do something, and then boom, boom, boom. I have some information. Come, let me take you to the US. Another truth about some of the agents that are trying to bring you to the US, some of these agents are misinformed, uneducated. They're quacks, unqualified. They're frauds. And then you trust them to bring you to the US, which is a big mistake. You know, some people use agents to file for them the DV lottery. And so the agent says, I'm going to do everything for you, and then I'll hold all the info for you when you get it. As soon as you're selected, you pay me. And so the agent fills in the information for you, and they don't even ask you to counter check. They don't even ask you to cross check and see whether the information they filled in is actually accurate. And then, fortunately, you win the DV lottery. Win the DV lottery, but then go to the embassy, realize they gave the wrong information about you. And so the documents that you're presenting don't match what you presented yourself in the DS-160. So be careful, because some of these agents are not, some of them haven't gone to school for these things. They don't know what they're doing. And so for you to be able to trust them that much with your information and for them to do everything for you, we usually get you in trouble. And especially because some of these agents want to cut corners. They want to cut corners, which is tantamount to fraud. They will end up committing fraud on your behalf. And guess who will end up being on the hook for that? You. Because you trusted an agent enough that you didn't do your due diligence to look at the paperwork they're filling out for you, to talk to them, to actually realize, does this person know what they're talking about, or are they just doing lip service? Because some people are very good at sales. So he'll sell you, but he doesn't have any knowledge about doing things. And that will often, because if you end up committing fraud, then that ends you on the blacklist. You end up getting banned from traveling to the US for a while, whether it's 10 years or however long. So be careful. Some a lot of the agents who are out there purporting to want to bring you to the US, a lot of them, they are misinformed. And so they'll end up just making your case worse than it is. And the worst thing is they'll take your money and they don't usually have a refund policy. They don't. They don't have a refund policy. They don't. They don't. Yeah. And I've heard so many stories about people who've lost a lot of money. They've lost their livelihood to these agents. Another truth is a lot of these agents are lazy. And unfortunately, some people don't be due diligent. Doing extra research, making sure that you're crossing your T's and you're dotting your I's is very important. If you choose to go with an agent. Some of these agents are lazy. Let's say they're helping people come for their B1, B2 visas. And so they write you a story, tell you a story that you'll go tell the embassy about why you're coming to the US. And because they're lazy, this same story, they'll tell 200, 300 more other people. Same story. Doesn't even change anything. Even photocopies the same copy and gives you. This is the story you go tell. This is why you want to come to the US. And what happens is your story starts to sound very similar when you send in your DS-160 and the embassy is looking, the officers are looking and they're like, oh, wow, we've seen this story so many times. People have ended up in hot soup because even here in the US, people they use one person stands out as an agent and they write them a story about asylum stories and he ends up writing the same story to everybody. And so what happens? You end up being on the hook for that. Minus your money, minus your time, your resources, your peace of mind, and so many other things. Sometimes your freedom. Be careful. Some of these agents are lazy. They want to make a quick buck easily. I want to make more money. It's like, how soon can I make my next dollar or Kenya shilling? So they'll take in as many people as possible to make as much profit as possible. The bigger the profit margin, the better. Oh, yeah. Oh, you want to go? Let me tell you, this is what you go say. You want to go? Oh, let me go tell you this is what you want to say. This is what you should say. But then the person who's telling you that has never even stepped foot in the embassy. And they haven't even changed the same story 5 years in a row and people keep coming. Do you even ask, hey, sir, what is your success rate? How many people have you actually gotten to the US? How many people actually know you and say, this guy helped me get to the US? Ask these questions. But then, there's just this other group of agents that are scam artists. And they've really perfected their art at advertising, at the things they do. They're very good. Some of them, they even lease office buildings. And they hire people to dress up really nicely. And then they broadcast to the community. Do you want to go to the US? We'll help you get to the US. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And then they keep just telling you, okay, all you have to do, put your deposit money in there, and then come see us on Monday, and we'll get you processed, and we'll get you to the US as soon as possible. And it was a leased office. This was a Friday. You come back on Monday, the office has been vacated, and your money has disappeared. A lot of them are very good at doing this. And they know sales. They know how to get you because they know you want to come to the US. And so they will use the language that you want to hear. Do you want to go to the US next month? Come see us. We'll get you there. Then they start telling you testimonials of this made up websites. We've taken all these people to the US. The whole time you're being taken for a ride, my friend. I have seen way too many people cry and suffer from dealing with these scam artists that pretend that they are agents helping you to get to the US. You need to be really careful. One recommendation I can give you is, I do content here on YouTube. I don't charge you anything. I do content here, and my content helps you to get, because there's no connection. When it comes to the US, there's no connection. The best person is the person who provides you with information. Armed with that information, you can be able to go do things yourself. And the US is the way they've done their things when it comes to immigration. It's very easy for you, as long as you have the information, to go do the stuff yourself. I can tell you personally, when I went to the US, I came to the US as a student, I filed my F1 by myself. I didn't need to use anybody. Everything was online, everything was available. When I was filing my other paperwork with immigration, I did it myself. Personally, I didn't have to use an agent. Because they have forms online, uscis.gov, travel.state.gov. They have the information there. You go fill out. If it's a form that's needed, those forms usually have instructions, and they'll tell you what to do. How do you fill this line? That's one of the awesome things about the US, is they're very organized in terms of, they do forms, but they also do instructions. And I'm here. I'm giving you information. If you have questions, shoot. I'll help you. I'll try help you research with you. Not charge you a thing. Maybe you can take that money and use it on yourself. Get better, Get some good pocket money as you start your life in the US. But don't be scammed. Don't be conned. There's a lot of con artists out there. So the truth was, there's no guarantee that any agent will get you a visa. A lot of those agents, they've never been to the US. A lot of the agents are misinformed. A lot of agents are very lazy. They'll write the same story to everybody. And beware of the wolves in the sheepskin out there, pretending that they want to take you to the US, but all they want is your money. Don't be scammed. I hope that was helpful. And keep coming back, because we'll be talking about a lot of things. I'm planning to do a lot of things, exposing some of the awesome opportunities that are out there that people don't even talk about. Some of the ways to get green cards that people don't really talk about or mention. So there's a lot to be covered. There's a lot of information, and I'm gonna be here pouring that information to you little by little. And if I ever help you, because I've already gotten feedback from people who've told me, from watching my videos, they were able to go and get their visas. If I help you, come back and say thank you. If I help you, come back and say thank you. I have a tip down there. You can have a CashApp down there. If you ever want to, say, hey, bless this guy, you can do that. But love you guys, and leave me any comments or any other, if you want me to do any content in any particular order, just let me know. Shoot questions and all that. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you.